to see whether or not KC can bounce back after a disappointing loss. Turtle, a loss that is difficult to bounce back from, especially given how it went down.
I mean, come on, Game 7, buzzer beater, and you lose it. Moving down to the elimination bracket, your tournament life at stake. This is huge, not only, of course, for KC, but Furia. Meanwhile, Furia, they're the team, excuse me, that has all the momentum in the tournament. Not only the crowd behind them, but of course, crowd behind KC. Furia, the damage they can do, it is on another level, truly.
Yeah, the two teams with completely different stories up until this point. Karmine have to regain the way Space Station did in stunning fashion, winning 3 straight after losing 3 straight. Karmine, they've had a bit of time to think about what went wrong, what they can plan for the Furia series. Furia are coming in with the same heat that they had earlier on. Almost an opening goal. That man, Yan.
Yeah, and KC be happy to, at least there wasn't somebody to immediately follow up, but Yan immediately giving a lot of pressure. It's one player I want to see just get involved in this series very earlier on, Turtle. That's Nolly. He's the one that made that mistake. He kept the ball up in the air, but off the backboard, Itachi hasn't got rid of it. And KC are going to be truly tested. And
it's going to be Kyle coming out strong off the pass from, of course, Yan doing all of the work on that one off the backboard. 2 players stationary, too, from KC. And that's not the ideal start within the first minute.
Furia are a team that have been going from strength to strength throughout this tournament. I think there was an awful lot of us in the talent team that once we got done with day 1, we were looking at Furia and going, okay, South America, I hope you've got some other ideas as to how this is going to go, because Furia do not look like they are up to the task. But Johnny, what we saw earlier was good. Nolly, that's so important.
Yeah, huge pass in field here from Astral. Yan trying to slow play the ball in the back corner, but actually ends up just giving it away. That was immediately punished by Karmine. You know, don't forget, this is the team who swept Furia to start off the entire event. 3-0, it wasn't a close 3-0, it was a complete thrashing. So Furia are looking for revenge here.
Yeah.
I think they've completely leveled up since then.
And if you want to put a microscope on that previous series with KC and V1, in Game 3, there was a lot of chances missed from Karmine Corp, where they had so many looks at the net, the accuracy not there, and you think, what would be different if they were able to hit the net like they are here in Game 1?
Nolly heating up here on Manfield. What a pass, Astral!
Once again, I mean, Nolly's ready for him, but Astral really nailed that pass. That's so unexpected. A couple of pre-jumping goalkeepers for Nolly to beat, and he goes underneath both of them. You know, Karmine have put it together today. They've looked fantastic. They've definitely had moments where they've fallen off. That's what they've got to try and avoid in this series. Furia were extremely consistent earlier, but it's all KC. Astral assists 2 goals, scores his one as well.
They've come in with a target, and it's infield pass after infield pass.
Oh my goodness.
Furia, no answer to it just yet.
It's the fact that Itachi in that play waited until that defender bit on the challenge, instantly flipped it over, and that created the space for them to get that opening shot. 3-1, KC. They aren't too affected after that tough loss against V1. They're hungry.
Very impressive to see such a strong start. The mentality of Astral and Nolly questioned many times as the slot comes in from Kaio between both of the Karmine goalkeepers. We have got an extremely high-scoring game on our hands.
Yeah, offenses seem very sorted out. Defenses on their hands, a little bit more questionable. Storyline-wise as well, Turtle, for KC, this is a big one for their career stories, because they have players on here, Nolly and Astral especially, where they were questioned by an awful lot of the community. Can they bounce back, or, you know, they were sort of pushed as a negative force. If you come and win after the way they lost earlier on, that goes out the window. You never have to hear about it ever again.
Absolutely, and I feel like that constant, you know, praise that we used to give them about their mechanics started to fade, and then people started to question their mentality. Astral has proven and spoken in so many interviews about how this is his best team mentally. They're so happy. They're so excited to get on the pitch. And Furia, oh my goodness, they would have been excited to get that 3rd goal.
Both teams look scary. Sometimes I have that feeling when you're watching a Rocket League game that every attack is going to result in a goal. With so much space in the midfield, it looks that way. So Yan comes in for the open net, and it is 3-3.
Might as well just make sure we're ready for a 5-5 at this rate. Itachi did well on the first challenge. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't only against one player. 3 each, 2 minutes left. Both teams pretty much taking to this like it's one of the practice lobbies.
Of course. Now, I'm seeing Astral's name show up so frequently here, obviously doing damage on the offensive front, but previously and all tournament long, he has been a menace on the goal line, pre-jumping every single save, finding a way to keep this ball out of the net, but you're up against Furia, some of the best striking, if not the best striking, specifically from Yan. It's going to be a new challenge for Astral.
Yeah, the level Yan showed us earlier and the difficulty to read Furia's offense is going to test Astral a ton. I asked Nolly at the start of this event, who's the most mechanical player in the world? He said Astral. You know, he's been in that conversation ever since he burst onto the scene. Years and years ago, he stayed at that level mechanically, which is so impressive. I mean, Turtle, you talk about how quickly mechanics can disappear from a pro career.
They're gone. I don't have it anymore. Instantly fades. If you're not putting the hours into this game, somebody else will come up right behind you and absolutely obliterate you on the mechanical side. It can literally be a matter of weeks where you're not playing this game and things can slip into the void that fast for mechanical players like Astral.
Tachi delays the shot. 1 minute left here. KC, the team currently looking the more offensively potent. Astral has to at least get the stop this time around. Kaio, well, Yan for the demo, and if that was on target, it would have been in. Second one, and Astral believed it was going to hit the post. Gets the save on the second time around. A flurry from Furia, but nothing finding its way to the goal.
Yeah, you've always got to worry about that angled air roll shot. It's Furia nearly sneak one through. Karmine hang on with their goalkeeping once again. A little bit of help from a post here and there. They've done most of the work themselves. Yan with a very, very deep position. He's going up for this, of
20
course.
seconds.
Reset, of course. It's automatic for Yan, but saved by Karmine.
Card keeps the pressure on. Might have a little bit less options. So much boost used on the previous attack. Oh, that one's going to be a race. Can Kaio get there? No, he cannot. 1 goal lead, 7 seconds left.
Oh, and it's within the final few seconds that you find this 1-2 pass all the way behind the midfield line. This is an early shot that KC are going for, and they stick it. What a way to potentially end game 1, but you never know. There's plenty of time, and at the copper box, crazier things, of course, have happened.
I have no idea what you're talking about whatsoever, Turtle. As we get the ball back into midfield, Card keeps the ball alive.
Oh my.
Can they get this ball back over? No, Astral just baits them a little bit. Says, you want this ball? Sorry, mate, you can't have it.
Karmine regain a bounce back from their devastating upper bracket loss. Continue their winning streak against Furia. They've won 4 straight games against this team now. 3-0 in the upper bracket, now 1-0 in the lower.
And the way that game sort of panned out might have been the best thing for KC, because it became a tense affair, a match where, you know, 1 or 2 little mistakes become things that you remember the entire way through. That might not have suited them quite as much, but because it was a shootout, Turtle, they just got a chance to really settle into this and understand they know what brought them to the dance.
Absolutely, and it's wild to me because if you told me that game 1 was going to be a shootout in this fashion, I would give the edge to Furia, because I would assume, given the fact that Yan has been unbeatable, every shot he takes seems to find a way into the net, you'd think Furia have the edge, but no, it's going to be Astral, and it's not the mechanics on the striking department for Astral, but it's the passes that man can predict.
Nolly Astral very linked up
Oh, yeah.
well in that last game. It actually didn't really have to do much, but that's a scary thing to think of. It's actually been ridiculous this event as well.
I'm just looking behind me, man.
Well, we can hear the
they're going for it.
Yeah, big on Karmine. Remember, this is the same crowd that was going nuts for Furia earlier on. Now they're cheering for Karmine, but I can promise you, if Furia start popping up the way they did earlier, they're going to win that crowd back. Yan won them earlier on.
I think the only thing they might be upset about is the fact that they've got the orange side of the lighting. The blue side's over there. Oh! They might be even more upset about that.
Well, that's a quick start. Yan attacks the near post early. It's actually trying to back pass here, gets demoed. And that's a bit of a greedy challenge there from Astral. He could have, stayed goal side of that ball. Instead, chips underneath it, gets dunked on, and they do not have a third man back.
I've noticed we've seen a lot of those plays from, I'd say, every single team competing in this tournament. A lot of corner challenges where you've got a second man trailing behind very close, and it comes down to who can win that one challenge in the corner.
We had a ton of those in the SSG first Falcon series just now.
That's all it was.
So many awkward-looking corner plays, but they're denying 50-50s. The reason why you see players from the Falcons lineup and also Space Station just kind of driving up to the ball and not really doing anything is because they know there's no threat. Why would I flip into that and give the ball momentum in a position where the other team can't really do anything anyway? It's pressuring the ball without overcommitting. Oh, that was almost a brilliant read from Karmine.
I'm sure there's a few Furia fans out there as well thinking, look, we lost the last one, but hey, that went better than last time out in our first game, and we saw what we did over there. As Astral waits and waits, lack of boost probably influencing that decision. Even Bob's actually cards might live to regret that one as we go to the backboard. Astral having that one perfectly covered. KC, ever since we got to those 3-goal leads, or 3 goals from both teams, have just been a lot calmer with the way that they've been positioning.
Right, and this is huge for Astral, keeping that calm environment, making sure that he feels comfortable to get a lot of these plays going. And there he is again with the big clear downfield. Itachi, you'd love to see his name pop up on the screen, maybe get involved in the offensive side, and he does just that, almost connecting with Nolly. A good pass across, but a better save.
Fantastic aimed pinch pass. I love the back post positioning from Karmine as well, really threatening so many angles in offense. Furia, no slouches in defense either.
He's got boost.
And they know how to double tap. We already know that from today. Every single time. It looks dangerous. It's now a little bit of a tangle in the back corner from Karmine, but they come out pretty unscathed.
We saw what Yan could do earlier on, but it'll be unrealistic to expect that from him every single time. We will need to see the whole of Furia involved if they are to win this best of 7 against KC. The card does go backboards. Karmine, though, have had that really well scattered the entire way. Now they're on the break. It's only going to be Card by himself. Can't get there. Too many bodies, too many people blocking. No chance to stop it.
Oh, I love this because I think I could do this. A flick on an open net. Look at that. Beautiful. Stunning stuff. But the pump was extremely important there as well.
And one thing I was going to harp on was going to be KC's positioning. They seemed too bunched up, but there it actually works to their advantage. You've got one player going for the dribble. The other is so close that when the challenge does come in, you know exactly how that ball is going to line up with the challenge. You can take him out, and that's what happened. KC striking and equalizing this game number 2.
But the way Furia play as well, it's confidence-based, not just for them, but against their opponents as well, because if KC continue to stop those plays, despite resets, despite everything else, it's going to make them so confident to sit back, come towards us, we'll be fine. That's what's happened so far, but now Yan looks towards something different as the ball goes sailing past him.
Yeah, it was game 3 actually, both times in the lower bracket matches that they really started to get so amped up on stage and really start to yell after every single goal. So I'm wondering why that didn't happen straight out the gate from Furia. They seem to come into a series quite composed, and then it all goes out the window. So I'm looking forward to that moment because right now they're staying pretty calm.
Johnny, I know exactly why. It's much like us. We need to save our voices. Yeah. It's a long, long time.
Well, these are no more best of 5s, okay? We've gotten to best of 7 territory, and these games, we've heard a lot of players talking about it, and it's been every land after every land. You get hot, you get sweaty, you literally find yourself in complete and utter exhaustion on that stage, especially one at this event.
And you can't drop focus for a moment, because the moment you start looking to your left, spot someone with a shirt that's got your team's logo on it, you know, you start looking around, that's when mistakes start to happen, and it's another open net, KC 2, Furia 1.
Nolly brilliantly gets back to the ball to double tap it on the floor past the last man. Card with a helpless chase, as he knew the ball was destined for the net.
And that double tap doesn't happen often for teams that Furia has been facing so far in the lower bracket. They're able to win the challenge with the speed they didn't expect coming out of that man behind the ball who's going for the air dribble. And in that situation, it was Nolly. Furia, I say they have to be more aware of how KC are trying to approach it, because you're going to keep leaving your net open if you're not expecting it.
This is a problem. We saw this versus Optic earlier. A lot of counter-attack goals for Optic early on. Now it's starting to happen against Karmine as well. Furia overextending. Karmine not really looking uncomfortable in defense at all this game. It's looking more and more like the upper bracket matchup that they had earlier in the event.
And it's not even the typical counter-attacking goals that we typically see where someone is waiting downfield, get the booming clear over to them, and suddenly they'll redirect it and score. No, the player that is starting the counter-attack tends to be the one that is scoring it as well. It has just been the full send. All 3 players gone for Furia. And nobody available to go any further. Off the backboard, Itachi realizes the danger. Still going to be dangerous. Shot saved yet again. That 2-goal lead will stay intact.
And it looked like that second shot from Kaio had to be placed better, but maybe off the backboard he can find it. It's going to be Yan, the man we keep talking about.
Yeah, that is a bit of redemption for Kaio. Like you mentioned, he really should have had that first one, but he just stalled in the corner. In comes Jan, full speed, and that's something Karmine Corp weren't expecting.
37 important seconds here for Furia. If they go 2 down in this one, statistics really not in their favor. History not in their favor. Jan wants to go the whole way! Step up! Jan, the man!
He's back. He didn't go far. Just took a little breather, and now he's ready to take over the series again. 3-3. Furia came back the last game in the exact same way and lost it. Can they do different in game 2?
Turtle, I'm starting to think Jan just doesn't like Manfield.
No, not at all.
Every other map, brilliant. Oh, Nolly might go the whole way! Nolly gets the brace, and he re-establishes the lead.
Just when we think Jan is going to start heating up, it's Nolly who's been doing it all game long. It's the follow-up. That second touch is crucial. And 23 seconds left. That might be the final goal of the game.
What response from Nolly as well. Jan went flying past the play, misread it. Nolly read it correctly. Now Furia have got it all to do once again.
Cards. Reset secured, wants to go the whole way, but Itachi having none of it. Even gets a second touch over on the wall. That's really going to slow this play down. But that's quite a few players forward. Over the top. Who's going to be the first this one? Nolly places it to the side. It's off the wall. Might have an infield option, but instead they're going to try and chase the ball down. Itachi to Astral. Will they keep this up, or are they just going to drop it as soon as they can? Astral's fake doesn't actually catch them out.
Yeah, he's trying to go for the mind game there. Let the ball drop to the ground. Furia read it. They've got half a chance, but Nolly denies them. And his winning goal will stand 4-3, but more importantly, 2-0. Furia down badly here. This is their 5th game loss in a row this tournament to Karmine Corp.
Yeah, this really has been just 2 games of pure shootouts, but Turtle right now, KC have been the team quicker on the draw.
Right, absolutely, and that's all thanks to Nolly and that second touch, and these plays have started in their own half. That's something that I've noticed from KC. Previously, against version 1, I thought they were doing a great job at starving out version 1, keeping the pressure forward, but in this, they're able to adapt. They're much more willing to go for that transition. You'll see a lot of these do actually start in their own half. This one going in favor of Jan, but look at this one from Nolly, all the way in his own corner. He takes the air dribble, the second touch, and is able to get the follow-up.
I want to point out as well, by the way, Jan's got another hat trick. That's his 3rd today.
Are we even surprised at this point?
Somebody get this man a hat.
I'd be more disappointed if he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
They've still got so much to do here, and you know, we talked about him earlier, Jan really dominating, but
it's got to be Kaio. It's got to be Kaio. We need somebody else to help Jan, because you can't expect that consistently. And even that type of performance he had in that game was stellar, but his teammates weren't there to support him. And you can't 1v3 at a situation in context like this.
Yeah, not against Karmine Corp. You know, he 1v3'd the green wall, turns out the blue wall, a little bit harder, a little different level, but we did expect that. You know, Karmine Corp, at least in terms of their display this tournament so far, has been a higher level than Optic, so you can't just take over a lobby like that. You need a bit of help. We need to see more from Kaio and Card. We need to see consistency from Jan as well. It was his miss that led to the last goal for KC in game number 2. A little bit of warm up there with the chain dash for Card. Keeping the mechanics, keeping the hands ready to go.
Card off the wall, he's going to get a bit of time. Can't quite generate the power that he needed. This is the player that you were calling for. Need to get Kaio up and running, but Nolly, Astral, and Itachi just have a sense as to where Furia want to place that ball each and every time. It's not the chaos that we were seeing Furia cause earlier on. Instead, it's pretty calm from Karmine Corp, despite the fact that they have been conceding quite a bit.
And interestingly enough, we haven't even seen too many demos from KC. This is, again, I want to remind everybody, is a rematch from the upper round 1 where these two did face off. KC took it in a sweep, and there was a lot of demo plays that led to the demise of Furia. They haven't needed to utilize that, but with a flip reset, you're going to do just as much damage.
I think Astral just burned his teammate's hand with that one.
Oh my.
Unbelievable double reset, bar down and in as well. I know he might have been onto something. He's back in the best of the world mechs conversation. Crazy from Astral.
And Astral has been at this level for the longest time. Just the last time that we got to do a European LAN, he was the one, a part of one of the greatest overtimes ever. On the winning side of that one, couldn't quite close out the series. But if KC keep this up, they'll close this one out, no problems. Here's Jan. They need some more magic from him. Will he provide? Will he ever?
How does he keep doing this? He saves the reset till he sees the challenge coming, then he uses it to send the ball and his own car towards that backboard. And of course, we all know what happens when Jan hits the ball into the backboard. It's in your net, KarmineCorp lose their lead. He actually managed to one-up Astral there, I think. It's definitely a close one. Crazy goals, either way.
Here he is yet again. Shut down pretty early this time
Demo.
around. There's the demo card. Had to react very quickly, but they're still under a lot of pressure. There we go, and Nolly reestablishes the lead.
And this looks just like the first series these two teams had against each other, where you're going for a demo, take out that last player. It's always been effective against Furia historically. Demos on that third man absolutely take them out completely.
Furia are on par with KC, but they're not ever in the lead.
No.
They keep getting back on level terms, but how often are we going into these final few moments thinking, all right, now KC are the ones that have got to try and respond. Might get worse as Itachi sees his chance taken away from him.
And this is, so impressive as well from KarmineCorp to see crazy goals, ridiculous goals, fly in their net, and then just stay calm and respond almost in machine-like fashion. They're just emotionless, just going about their business. And we saw Furia earlier on peaking on Optic, and that really caused Optic to start falling apart and doubting themselves. They just didn't know where to go, what to do, but KarmineCorp have got the answer every single time. Here's Nolly with the reset as well. Wanted to bump, Jan evades him. It's a very nice save, actually, keeping the ball safely on the back wall, but it almost ends up in their net anyway. I mean, these saves are impressive, but KarmineCorp are still all over them.
Good block off the backboard, Itachi, and saved. Follow-up will be wide. Astral realizing that if put on target, he might leave his team in a vulnerable position. The Team Furia had it covered infield, but nobody around. Cards chasing it. Astral happy to let him do so. Reminder of what is on the line here. We have Mina over in and secured for tomorrow. How big would it be for the international stage of Rocket League to add another team, to add Furia, for them to go one better than they did last time around?
And also to leave Moist as the sole European team. It's possible at this point.
Oh, nice flick. Maybe get a demo from Jan. Searching for it. We're seeing some more action from his teammates this time off the backboard. Doesn't fall. Astral's able to get the save, and Furia are forced to try to implement some tactics that we haven't seen. It's the opposite theme for KC. I'm getting glimpses of every series so far, and they're combining it into this one play style where they can utilize whatever they need to at any given moment.
Well, they're just challenging the ball so effectively. Furia have had their clips, and they've had their highlights, as they always do, but they're just a bit too few and far between now, 1v1. Astral delays the flick, goes for the 50, muscles it in. That's genius from Astral. He knew the ball's too far forward in his car. If he flicks it here, it's going nowhere, so he uses it as a mind game. Wave dashes the landing to create some distance and goes underneath the pre-jump.
1 minute. Furia need to turn this around in 1 minute. Can they do it? Or is this series getting beyond them, despite them being so close every single game up until this one? KC have seemingly figured them out. They've solved the riddle that has broken teams before them. Nolly takes his time. Off the ceiling. Jan tries to get there. He at least gets some contact. But if Furia are going to make something of this, they've got to try and create, and they've got to try and do it very soon indeed.
And finally, whenever Furia does win at 50-50, they don't get the proper follow-up, and because of it, it's turned down the other side.
Yeah, they need to do something miraculous here. KarmineCorp are crushing them. They're just completely smothering them in the back corner. Where is that life? Where is that lifeline from Furia? I think it's just a bit too far gone. Full control for KarmineCorp. They're running down the clock. They're not taking any risks while doing it.
Wow.
And they are about to put Furia 4 match points. Space Station-based elimination 4 games in a row. Furia will as well. They're going to need to pull out a comeback the same way that the Americans did.
You want me to put this into context? We have never seen a best-of-7 reverse sweep at an RLCS LAN. If Furia are going to keep South American hopes alive, they have got to do it right here at the Copper Box. Timeout called by Furia, And this is going to be the team talk of a lifetime from their coach.
This is where it all starts, and you have to build the hype from this moment forward, Johnny. You were talking about it yourself. Every time they'd score before, they'd pop off, get loud on the stage, become a monster that KC couldn't handle, but not right now. We haven't seen any glimpses of energy, any momentum started. What is the difference maker for them, and how can they get that energy back?
I want to speak to you about this as well, Johnny, about what you do now if you are the voice that is speaking to these players over on Furia. How do you go about this and get your team necessarily on form? Do you focus more about setting them down mentally, or do you just spew tactics?
I really think in this case it would be a mental angle, because we're seeing shots fly wide. We saw Kaio and Aquadome hitting the bar with an uncontested aerial. You know, it doesn't look, you know, it looks mechanical because they're making mechanical mistakes, but I don't think that that is a mechanical issue for players like Furia. I mean, we saw them earlier on this very same day, so you've got to think it's a mental thing, a mental block against Karmine Corp. It's the team that swept them into the lower bracket. They've put 3 games past them again. You just got to calm down to say, okay, well, you know, look, they might have the counter. They've beaten us 6 games in a row, but let's just enjoy this. We're in London, we're in the copper box, we've qualified for Worlds automatically. We're bringing another SAM team with us because we've overall, throughout the whole year, gone top 8 on average. This is a massive success story for Furia and South America, so why not just enjoy it? Just try to relax, and if you can stay relaxed, it's so much easier to hit those shots in key moments.
So it's one of those things, isn't it, where the first game, cool, that one gets out of the way. You don't really believe just yet, but once that second game is down, suddenly
something changes.
The other team is just as aware of it as you are.
Yeah.
But first things first, get this one out of the way. Take the mental reset and play this next game as if it's in a vacuum.
Right, and here's the thing, you got the losing out of the way, okay? Literally, you just got it out the way. You know your back's against the wall. There's nothing else to lose. The expectations thrown out. 4 games in a row. We've never seen it in this environment, but we know it's possible.
Got it as well. You were talking a lot about Furia. How about Karmine Corp? You know, what a comeback from them. They went down to the lower bracket in devastating fashion. To come back and play like this, it shows what strength they've got as a team mentally, and how much they've really come together as 3 players and an organization and created a family. It really is so clear to see on social media, in this LAN in person. Jan sneaks one in here for 1-0. That's something we haven't seen too much. Furia in front, and we've got a long way to go.
If there was ever a time for another Jan hat trick, I think Furia would take one here and maybe 3 more after this as well. They've got it going, and I feel quite importantly for me here, Total, they got it in a way that didn't require incredible mechanics.
Absolutely.
That was fundamental Rocket League that scored them a goal.
And it lets you know that you don't have to pull out 4 flip resets and a solid 50-50. It's a simple shot into the back of the net. You're outpacing the player, a one-on-one situation, and that right there relieves a lot of pressure. And this wide open net is going to give you some confidence as well.
A rare KC overcommitment. Hard actually hitting that one in with the blue trail, so that's kind of an unlucky own goal there for Nolly. I don't think he was really trying to get too much on that, but always dangerous to challenge on the outside edge of the ball in the back corner for that exact reason. Let's see what Karmine Corp do with a 2-goal deficit.
It's got to be slightly cathartic as well for Furia, because that's how they were conceding earlier on when they were trying to chase down the game. Got the score one with now KC, the ones trying to chase forwards. I certainly feel pretty nice as we do get the ball into the midfield. Jan. So far, that's trickling slightly off target. There's another little moment for Furia. Kaio has got another, and whatever was said during that team talk, Johnny, is certainly working.
It's Kaio now, so that's the step up we're looking for. You know, not a flip reset, but still a great read on that ceiling bounce. This is what we asked for. Kaio stepped up massively at the Winter Major, really aided his team getting up into the top 6 there. Now they're in the top 6 in Europe as well. Kaio's starting to make an impact.
Seeing one Yan goal, you know, doesn't give you confidence moving forward for Furia, because we've seen him pop off already in this series alone. He needs his teammates. He did get the support of Kaio.
How about 2? How about 2 Yan goals?
There you go. I'm a little bit more convinced now.
I mean, at this point, it's just 1 more goal for the hat trick, another one to Jan's record. I would love to know what the maximum amount of hat tricks we've had during a live event ever has been, because Jan must not be too far off it. Kaio off the wall, 4-goal lead. This is furious to lose. The only good news here for KC is they've got 3.5 minutes to play with. That's where the good news ends.
Yeah, they can just like try to stop conceding, first of all. I think that would be the biggest thing for Karmine Corp. Every goal that goes into their net gives Furia more and more confidence. It gives them more reason to get loud and start screaming on stage and get that energy and the momentum that was so vivid in their first series of the day.
I think it's important to mention as well, Turtle, for Furia, this is not something new for them in this series. They have been scoring 3-4 goals in now the third out of the 4 games that we have played. The last one was the anomaly. We know Furia can do this consistently because they have been.
Absolutely. It's all about cleaning up their defensive rotations and truly breaking some bad habits, as that shot does get blocked from Yan, going for yet another goal, looking for that hat trick. But you're absolutely right. They know that they can score. They're used to getting, 3, maybe 4 goals on the board. It's when it comes down to their defensive rotation and how they crash the net. Are they able to get those saves? How are these 50-50s going? The corner play, so much smoother in this game alone than the rest of the series. They're also keeping the ball very grounded, going for more dribbles. The composure is there. Furia, this is how you start a solid foundation for some more momentum moving forward in the series.
Furia are holding on to that clean sheet, but the most important aspect of this game for them. Karmine Corp have stopped conceding, which is the first step to any comeback. But now time is really getting away from them, so they can't be careful. They've got to commit. What a save by Card on the retreat there, just deflecting the ball over the bar. Ooh, they are protecting their tally. 4-goal advantage remains. Make it 5. Card puts in his second goal again.
All right, I'm going to ask both of you. Are we getting a hat trick? Which one's going to get it? Is it going to be Yan or Kart?
Yeah. You got to give it to Yan, the man.
I'm going Kart to be the contrarian over
you would.
on this
You
one.
would, Shogun.
Of course I would.
Typical.
5-0.
Come on.
One thing to note here, despite the fact that Furia have used their timeout, KC will have access to theirs should they feel like using it. Falcons only used theirs after the 3rd game loss earlier on. Get the feeling KC might use it after the 2nd should we get there.
To be honest with you, that timeout terrifies me for Furia. I'm remembering back to the previous major up against Queso. Furia, I believe they won 3 games in a row. Timeout got called. Queso won the next match. That's how easily your momentum can be broken down in a LAN environment. Crucial. And we'll see if KC decide to use it after this game or if they want to save for just a little bit more panic.
It really makes you wonder, would it make sense to just use the timeout now?
Get it out the way.
You use your timeout for the win. Now we're just going to use our timeout, and then we can just get the series over with 4-1 instead of waiting until the very last game of the series, the way Falcons did to use the timeout. And most teams tend to do it after, I think, that 2nd loss in a row. Try and take the wind out of the sails. Nolly wants a double here. Oh, he's almost got it. That would have been a great goal. Probably inconsequential. Great stuff from Nolly either way.
Inconsequential, but still big. Furia holding on to that clean sheet. And doing it in convincing fashion overall. The chances from KC have been very few and far between. Furia have settled down, and if they want to take this series back, they can't get back into shootouts because one of those goes your way. Heck, we've seen when KC get the lead, Furia struggle to get the lead back. It's been perfectly fine for them to get the goal back, but once we get back there, KC tend to be the one that take the lead yet again.
And good news for Furia, because what I'm about to say is a bit absurd as Itachi hits an absurd shot himself.
Clean sheet out.
5-1, get one for the road. Nice passing on the defensive side to move down the field and really good accuracy, but for Furia, it doesn't feel like they've reached their limit at all. There's still so much more to improve on. I haven't seen a lot of the quick passing inside of the box that they're so used to going for, especially up against Optic.
They have sat back in this last game with a more cautious approach, and I think that could be the way to go, and it's no doubt what they're going to stick with, as they don't have any more games to play with. That preservation of their goal seems to let them just remain calm. They're not seeing so many goals flying towards them anymore. So they got more time to just build their offense slowly. When they do, they always score goals. We've seen it all series long. Even the games they're losing, they're scoring so many goals. Jan's getting hat tricks. But it's about the defense for Furia. They've got to stop conceding. They did in game 4. That's what they've got to keep doing now into game 5.
As much as I was saying earlier on there, KC are very good at seeing the individual plays of Furia and shutting them down, sending one player and getting a good enough block where it's a bit more difficult to find the follow-up. You can say the same thing the other way around. Once Furia had the lead, and it was up to Karmine Corp to suddenly start putting together the plays, Furia suddenly seemed very comfortable with that. There was nothing that KC really did that surprised them in any real way. This is what we're saying. One, we don't start believe yet. One more, then it starts to creep up.
Definitely. I mean, I was sitting watching the Falcons SSG game, and I can tell you, it's that second win that really made me think, hang on, there might be something here. The first win, I'm not convinced we're watching a series yet. Second win, okay, now we've got a series, because it's so much easier, so much more conceivable to see the series be tied after 3-2. But yeah, 3-1, I'm not convinced yet. We have to see more from Furia for me to even think that there's a possibility of this going the distance. Good news is, though, they've stopped that 6-win streak that Karmine Corp had on them, 6 games in a row. Now 1 for Furia.
Oh, come on. No! There we go.
The energy here is just, you can't match it.
It's constant.
You simply can't match it.
I really hope it is coming through to everybody watching back home, because here we are just getting bombarded from all sides with walls of sound.
How do you think the players feel? I was actually backstage when I heard Joyo come in. He's like, I literally am shaking. I can't feel anything right now. I was losing it on the stage. Not only was it hot, it was sweaty, but I couldn't hear a thing.
Well, let's see if we can maybe get the crowd to start us off for this next game then. I'm gonna go start it for a little moment. It's up to you guys. Make some noise.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident that's something that they can and will do.
Yeah, I have a feeling that one went through on the stream.
That was the biggest freebie you've ever had when you were trying to interact with a crowd, Shogun.
I love my job, mate. I love my job. Let's see if Furia can start to enjoy theirs a little bit more. 5 more minutes away from making the world start to believe. But for KC, get that first goal, and suddenly in a position that you've won from multiple times. Oh, Cards, that's a big spot. He's got to do a lot of work.
So space for Itachi too. Into the midfield, the missed shot. That was it to start this game out hot.
Yeah, that looked a bit chaotic for both teams, but no goals as of yet. Nolly, perfect pass. It's read well though. Furia are starting to make those key interceptions. They're getting a better read of Karmine Corp with every passing minute.
You're so much closer on the challenges in the corners. We talked about it before, Johnny, where KC, win a challenge, you've got somebody like Astral or Nolly with the fastest possible follow-up. Furia are matching that, if not outpacing them on that follow-up in the challenge.
Yeah, if there's anything Nolly does not lack, it is confidence in his own abilities, in his abilities to get over there, and from what we've been hearing, in the abilities of his teammates, glowing reviews, as we've been speaking to him throughout the week. Passing opportunity, that is over the top of Nolly's head. Kyle wants to go the whole way. Maybe it's been one of the less represented players over on the scorecards. But still, he is a difference maker.
I want to see more flip resets from Furia. You know, it's so good to watch. Come on, give us a flip reset.
That's the first time that has ever been said by anybody.
No, it's not because they don't do it. It's because I just can't get enough. I just want to see more of it.
It's addicting. It's
really
addicting.
I think backboard defense has been prioritized by Karmine Corp last couple of offensive pushes by Furia. So that's when you want to slow the play down. That's why the flip reset is such a huge play these days. Because it forces the defender to come at you. You can't just wait on the backboard for somebody to come your way. You need to make a move. And Furia are sitting back with a lot of space to play at the moment because Karmine Corp want them to come at them. So, okay, well, slow down the play. That's where they can really flex their muscles with the reset.
Here it is. It's what you asked for, Johnny, slowing it down. Going for a solid first touch over one player. Then the second gets the follow-up. Johnny asked, and Furia answered.
That is massive. Itachi could do nothing more because Furia have figured out what they figured out earlier on today, Johnny. Forced bad saves, and a goal will come your way.
And Itachi did just about all he could there. He's trying to crossbar pinch the ball away. It just didn't pinch. He hit it a bit too soon. He got a solid contact. And here come Furia again, but that will be easily saved. But the boost is really a problem right now for Karmine Corp. Itachi grabs 100. Nolly as well, so they're going to be fine here. But brief moments where they're all starved. That's the worst thing against a team like Furia. Astral.
Oh my.
Reset double. Thank you very much.
Oh, and look at it. The challenge in the corner. Astral's up so early. He has no competition in the air. And if you give him an inch he's going to take a mile.
And notice how he leans back for the reset there, not the more traditional spiral underneath the ball, because he needs to generate so much power into the backboard by kicking up the bottom side of the car into the ball, landing the reset while also sending it into the backboard. Perfectly done.
So Furia tasked with finding yet another goal. That one goal lead was always going to look tenuous. It might be on the opposite side now as Nolly does to get it in. Save from Kaio. Drop down from the sky to try and get rid of that one.
Dive bomb save as well. He just had to go for it. You're not getting a good recovery off those, but there's no choice. 2 minutes left. Furia's defense still looks a whole lot better than it did at the start of the series.
That might end up either be a point of laughing later on tonight or a point of frustration, knowing that they had the tools in the toolbox to beat KC, but maybe they left it too late. Off the backboard, you really expect Jan to create something, but the first touch just put it too high. I think that KarmineCorp had it covered anyway. Astral wants it once again. I feel like we all forgot how good Astral is on land, but that is a big win from Kaio. A miss from the defender, and Card too far forward. 1-1 stays the score.
You cannot make those mistakes. You're tied up 1-1, a minute and 25. A mistake on the other end, the accuracy, both teams failing to hit their mark.
Yeah, it's like you said, you just can't afford to make those mistakes. That's the best chance they're going to get, surely. Completely uncontested shot from point blank range. Like you said, a lot's going on in front of him. There's cars falling down. Are you, really convinced that they're missing? Well, maybe you should have been. Just go for it.
But if you're there for a reason. You were there because you thought there was a chance. It's it's gonna get better. Jan has the goal. Furia have the lead.
Oh, that was a big slump back into the chair there from Astral. He's not happy about his clear there. Definitely more of a pass, more of conceding possession than a clear, but KarmineCorp visibly frustrated after conceding.
But Astral is talking to the rest of the team. Despite the mistake, he's got that little bit of frustration out. He knows the task back at hand. He's matured so well. Now he needs to try and prove it at this situation. Shot! In! Jan has a brace!
You might be in the best space mentally, but if you're up against Jan physically, it's over.
I'm starting to believe right now Furia are taking the same path Space Station did, and it's that second game. If you can get 2, you're still losing, you're still facing elimination, but now it absolutely looks possible that they could make this reverse sweep happen.
And another game of keeping KarmineCorp down at 1 goal, if they can keep this as it currently is. I'm sure there's a few Furia fans out there remembering a couple of very quick goal swings against their particular direction. Will not want to add another one to that tally. I love this. Stay back, hold the midfield line, force KarmineCorp to do all the work.
Whoa.
That is a double commit. Almost didn't matter, but now it's up to KC. Have to get control of the ball. Astral, low boost, still wants to get the play. Infield pass to Nolly, fakes out one, and then gets the goal. How cool can you be?
I mean, he's just completely unaffected. Just rolls in a dirty, filthy fake. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. Next kick off, let's just go next. 12 seconds to go. KarmineCorp still need 1. Can they get it?
Off the kickoff, the ball is at least in the air. That's one of the more playable positions you can get.
Here we go.
Furia chasing down, just slightly off target. The ball no longer can hit the floor. Furia want to send us.
Popped up.
To game number 6. Can they do it? Yes, they can. And now you start to believe.
You start to freak out. 2 games won for Furia in a row. Do we get the timeout?
Timeout.
Johnny's indicating it to me.
He's giving me the symbol.
Oh, it's timeout time. It's got to be. I mean, you could see the frustration there, and I think they've got to take a timeout just to let themselves breathe.
There it is.
And they do.
There it is.
I think this is the correct move. They're not going to wait until game 7.
No, not at all.
They were so annoyed at how that game went because they're throwing away goals that earlier on in the series, they would have really forced Furia to work for it. That second goal especially really got a big reaction out of KarmineCorp. They're reacting more to their own goals. The goals they're conceding more than the goals they're scoring. That's when you know, okay, we've got to just take a breather here, think for a second how we can dig ourselves out of this hole.
Well, this is a very different looking series now because, as we've mentioned a few times, whilst it has been high scoring, KarmineCorp have always been the team typically in the driver's seat in these situations. Now we're getting Furia getting these goals. We're seeing KarmineCorp be the team that has to chase. they're not as offensively potent when they don't have access to the counter-attack.
Yeah, you're talking about being in the driver's seat. I mean, take a look at the last 2 minutes of that previous game. Furia, they were all the way back in their own half, able to comfortably take a boost. The rotations didn't have to be as fast as possible because of the amount of pressure they were putting on against KC. And with this timeout, it could kill the momentum of Furia, especially with how that previous game ended. KC had that mind game, so many mechanical plays. It's really just up for grabs at this point.
It looks like defense is, really the turning point here. When Furia started to really prioritize defense, prioritize making sure that they're getting back after attacking so they can have more players for Karmine to get by. There's only 3 players on a Rocket League pitch. But it's still so hard to get past some of these teams. I think Metsonoris must have just entered the building.
Where's he at? Where's Metso? I'm looking for him.
I'm trying to spot him.
Where is he?
I can't see him anywhere.
I don't have my binoculars out here. I don't even have my glasses.
How did the whole crowd see Metsonoris and we didn't? I don't understand what's happening.
He's here in spirit. That's all that matters.
Maybe the crowd looking towards us and thinking, endpoint. Endpoint, maybe a couple of timeouts instantly turning the momentum in your favor. I don't see any jumping jacks over on the stage, which I'm a little bit disappointed by.
I think we had some squats back in LA as well.
There was that one going for it. What we do have, though, is 5 minutes separating us between either a finished series or Champions Field again, and the chance of the first ever LAN best of 7 reverse sweep.
Oh, Karmine starts strong though. That is a shot from Nolly. What power he's able to generate on this one. Astral launches the ball at him. And Nolly comes off the ceiling to drill it down into the net.
That is disgusting. A fastball from the top corner, drop down for the first goal for KC.
I don't know if any of you at home got the chance to see Nolly's camera there. That is an angry, angry Nolly. He does not want to be part of this sort of history.
And that we do actually have a live footage camera there. That is, in fact, a moving picture. He's just choosing not to move. He's sitting there absolutely steadfast after drilling in another brilliant goal, exactly the same that he did.
We're not even in game 7, and he's that furious.
He is focused. He knows what they got to do. So far, so good in game 6.
Nolly's mantra has been very simple. When he watched BDS go out, he turned around to us and said, I'll do it myself. Now we're in game 6, this same mantra on the field, looking to take this series away from Furia and away from South America. And this now, Turtle, is where Furia needs to do their best work. Can they get the going back? Can they get the goal back? And can they turn the storyline of this series on its head as Jan does get rid of the danger?
So far as I'm watching this play break down, you can see Furia, they're not uncomfortable with boost. They're taking a lot of pads, using a lot of it as well to put shots on net. And finally, it slips in for Jan.
Once again, it's the reset, but this time it's Kaio forcing the bad save, and it's Jan with the follow-up shot to tie.
You said some key words there, Johnny. The bad save. The specialty of Furia. Make you panic, make the bad save happen. It's great if they score off the mechanical play, but the whole intent of it is to set up for that next player in. Here we go yet again, off the backboard, follow out from Card, and he is blocked.
Seems like we don't usually see Furia throw all 3 players forward. After the first 3 games, they attempted to do it, but there were so many open nets that KC just bombed towards their half from the midfield. Now we're seeing a 2-man passing play from Kaio.
What a pass as well. The follow-up was inevitable. KC flounder in net. Furia absolutely rolling even after the timeout.
I feel like this is the first time I've ever heard the copper box divided. There was a couple of people booing that one.
I heard both.
There was some, well, you can hear it maybe right now. The copper box, the blue wall, wants to make sure that they are heard. That one's going to be off target, but Jan with the follow. And he scores it. 2-goal lead re-established.
You can see Nolly used every ounce of boost to try and get this touch. He got bumped and then boosted back in position. That would have been one of the most ridiculous saves. Even the attempt itself was absurd.
It was pretty close to great recovery by Nolly, but Furia are absolutely on a roll. This is insane to watch. Even after the timeout, they have full control. They've got Karmine in the ropes. Astral double.
Oh, no, he didn't.
He's done it. The response, once again, is immediate.
I'm looking at the coach's hands right now. I don't quite know what I was communicating. He was just asking the same as we were asking. What is that? How does he do that?
That is disgusting.
He just used the backside of his car.
Astral with that car is just as dangerous as they come.
That is insane.
The goal lead cut in half might be re-established. Card with an absolute banger.
And out of the smoke, Furia emerged. They just slammed it with the goal explosion and the demo coming at the same time. Perfect. It wasn't even an infield pass. It was an infield drive. He just brought in the ball.
Just a handoff.
Didn't even leave it. Yeah.
And it had all the power that Nolly found in the corner. Revenge on the other side.
Off the backboard yet again. A 3-goal lead would feel pretty good right now for Furia. They maintain this. They are on the verge of so much history, booking their spot in that top 4 and getting themselves that first ever best of 7 LAN reverse sweep. I think we're getting a little bit greedy. I don't care. I want to see the possibility happen in front of our eyes.
I mean, if we get Furia winning and then Moist winning, that's the first time we've had 4 completely different regions in the top 4 at an RLCS LAN.
Off the backboard. Nolly with, I mean, Kai was actually down there. Tachi gets some contact, but this is where Furia have done their best work.
Oh, look at that first touch too from, I believe it was Card, able to stall and waste a lot of time. They are just pushing this ball forward, hoping to bait out some challenges, waste more and more valuable seconds off the clock. And notice the third man from Furia, so patient and composed. They already have the 2-goal lead. This is where you don't want to get greedy.
Yeah, they're really dialing in those recoveries as well. You mentioned third man positioning, so safe, but they are still throwing themselves in, keeping Karmine back in the corner. But every time they do that, they're doing it with boost to recover with. They're not completely using everything. They're staying in constant motion. This just puts so much pressure on Karmine, who can't get out of their own half and even start to try and come back.
Nolly up the wall. Atachi is downfield. He's looking for anyone to bump. He has actually got some contact on cards. But thanks to the presence of Yan, it's not going to be an overall problem. Yan in field. That's an awful lot of card, who does still try to deliver. 1 minute on the clock. 2 goals needed from Karmine Corp. Well, we are going to Champions Field. And right now, Furia's defensive displays have been phenomenal, outstanding. Any other words you want to give to it to describe just how good it has been? They just need 45 seconds more of it. And Card, that was disgusting.
And yeah, Astral scratching his head right now. He's blinking, thinking, what on earth is happening? How has this series turned around so badly? Because earlier on, we saw a similar thing. We saw Space Station coming back against Falcons, but Space Station were absolutely peaking there. Falcons didn't really, I think, make too many mistakes. Space Station just elevated. They started to read Falcons on every single play and started to break them down, started to pop off with huge goals. But Karmine Corp are probably frustrated at their own performance here. They're thinking, why are we falling apart against a team who we've beat 6 games in a row? Now we've lost all of our match points. We're down to the last one. Well, barring a late comeback here, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, not at all. I mean, 22 seconds left. Time is almost completely out. And for KC, think back to what was working previously, the first 3 games. So much creativity with Astral. There was always a person in the middle of the field able to make plays. Who has been the playmaker? We've seen solo plays from Karmine, but nothing else.
Yeah, no timeout to work with. The team plays that we saw earlier on,
Timeout didn't work.
That's it, confirmed. It's been so for a while. Furia have brought it back to Game 7, and they've done it with a celebratory goal as well.
You guys ready? Champions Field in the copper box. It's something different, man.
More history.
Furia, 3-goal games down. 1 more to go.
Come on.
SSG earlier on could not finish it. We have been blessed with another chance to maybe see the impossible happen. For Furia, 5 minutes is all that separates them. And for Karmine Corp, 5 minutes to rectify what might be a big wrong in their history.
There's definitely a lot of lessons to be learned here, regardless of the result, because Karmine Corp were in full control. And one tactical timeout turned it around in such devastating fashion that even a timeout by themselves couldn't bring it back. They're lost for what to do now. They don't have any more timeouts to use. They're, still looking relatively threatening when they advance, but they can't keep Furia at bay. Furia's more safe style of offense is still so effective, and it's like they have more waves now, because they're not just throwing it all in one go. They're taking their time.
I just can't believe it, man. So many people are looking at the first 2 days and thinking, wow, this might end up being quite a boring event.
So many sweeps, barely the distance.
How dare they? How dare they? Copper Box Arena! Are you ready for Game 7?
Can Karmine Corp rise to the occasion? Furia have thrown down the gauntlet. They have won the hearts of London fans, and they open the scoring again. And in the nightmare scenario for Karmine Corp, I think it's gone in off one of their own players.
How did this slip in? Astral, he was too high above the ball, ended up ground pinching it back into his own net. A disaster within the first 14 seconds.
And Furia in this position have been unstoppable. When they get that first goal, they do not let it get away from them. Jan was good enough to force Astral into the play and still lands on the ball. Jan is taking on the entirety of Karmine Corp. Will Moist Esports be the only European team left in this tournament?
Oh my
that sounds reminiscent, actually. I think I've seen that before.
John, you got to get better writing these scripts, dude.
Well, hey, we changed up this one. Instead of it just being Queso and all NA, we threw a little bit of Mina in there, threw a little bit of salmon there.
The spices, that's what we wanted.
Oh, Astro did find the angle. Jan was fully aware of that fact, made sure he was over there. Oh, infield! Oh. Barely out of the grasp of Nolly.
You see that one swing across, and Karmine Corp has historically been so good at finding a player at the other end and smacking it, of course, into the top left or top right corner.
Yeah, it looked like it should have been it. I mean, sometimes they are just slightly out of reach, but I think that one was within range. Karmine Corp not putting it together here, missing many opportunities to create chances and to score them. Furia still sitting back. They're not lunging, they're not panicking.
Oh, what a dunk!
Taking their time. Karmine Corp not passing well, they're not finishing well. It's just all going wrong in Game 7.
The ideas are coming to Karmine Corp far too late. They can't communicate it over. I do like some of the ideas they've been having, but unfortunately the teammate knows nothing about it. Snolly is going to have to back down, at least for now. Cards lofts the ball up to Kaio. Oh, it's just his mere presence means Furia have their second.
Masterful mind game. Kaio flies right by. Astral's got his eyes on him, not the ball. And the ball just sails right in, 2-0. An insane turnaround.
Rent-free. Living in Astral's head, you saw him go up for the ball, and you assume somebody's gonna make contact. Instead, it just floats right in. 2-0, Furia, they have the momentum. Karmine Corp struggling even after the timeout, couldn't get it. We are moments away from history in the RLCS.
Jan just sticks around, sees two players up against him, and he likes those odds. Nolly, though, at least gets the ball up and moving. Astral, with attaching support, takes the block instead. Just nothing to play with when it comes to offense. From that particular angle, Jan will clear. Astral from the wall, and Furia happy to see where that one came off the ceiling. More time off the clock. Karmine Corp have not got rolling yet, and that time is ticking away from them. Atachi dodge forward. Might have been able to go for a fake, but the ball was going straight forward. No changing to catch Furia out.
There was an attempt at the 50-50, but nothing came out. Back down the other end, we've got a lot of big clears. Both teams are so cautious, don't want to overextend. Go for big clears and hope you find a redirect on the other side.
So many records about to be broken. The first reverse sweep in RLCS LAN history. The first time the two non-North American and EU teams combine in the top 4. And also the record, the all-time record for goals scored in a best of 7 in RLCS LAN. That's a little bit due to KCorp as well, but Furia are doing the impossible right now.
Itachi infield to Nolly, fancies the chance on the 1v1, does put the ball into a playable position, but there's nobody left around. Take a look at the boost totals currently over for Karmine Corp. There's nobody with any ability to get involved in this play. They finally reboost, but because the play has already gone.
And you'll notice somebody from Furia, they're putting themselves in between two players of Karmine Corp, expecting a pass to come out from the midfield. I talked about how I wanted to see it more with passes, but it looks like solo plays might be the answer. And we all know Astro loves to go for those, and so does Itachi.
Well, the writing's on the wall, maybe more accurately the crossbar, because that was a moment where you'd rather any kind of bounce stand straight down and then clear. Karmine Corp getting a bit of misfortune there, but Furia still look great. They're hanging on to this 2-goal lead, giving nothing but now suddenly Karmine Corp find an opening.
Oh, it was never going to be easy, was it?
Nope.
1 goal separating these two teams, and Jan will not want to see that one back.
He can't have seen him. He went for a speed flip there to the side of the pitch. He must have not known that Karmine Corp had a player there.
Off the kickoff, Itachi goes up the wall. You can see Jan trying to stop him, but that's still not quite enough. Itachi can still recover this play. Astro to Itachi. Back into the midfield. Nolly can't quite take the first time shot. They're taking their time. They want the perfect play.
Oh, no!
Itachi!
Finally, Furia have fumbled. That was definitely clearable. Kyle had boost. He had the ball in his sight, but he misses it, and it just lingers on the goal line briefly before Karmine Corp scored to tie the game.
Oh, that might be the mistake that prevents RLCS history. Final 30 seconds.
Astro under his own control. This is where Karmine Corp got caught out earlier on. This is where they kept the ball alive, and it ended up costing them. Will we see anything similar this time? Will we even get the chance to? Everyone from Furia is going. They want their offensive chance. Itachi takes control of the ball.
Yeah, all of Karmine Corp in low boost, but they get shots out of nowhere.
10 seconds.
It is saved. Furia now looking to transition.
Yeah, down the line. Has got caught up in support. Takes out Itachi. The shooting angle wasn't there. Instead, he set up his teammate. Kyle with Safa on his shoulders, and he will wait for another chance.
This time they do go to overtime. Karmine Corp with not even an option to keep the ball alive. That's probably a blessing after what we saw earlier.
Card beats one player. Can he find the angle? No, instead he looks around. There's no teammates left to turn the ball in. 1 goal separates these two teams from top 4. Astro booms the ball long. Itachi keeps the ball moving. That's it back into the midfield. Shan to the corner. And Itachi will clear.
The key touches here, every touch so important. Nolly gets back to the ball, mid-air recovery, now it's free for Karmine Corp!
History tonight. Karmine Corp move on. And suddenly their series against V1 becomes a distant memory. Turtle though, Furia, they delivered in a way that none of us expected to 20 minutes ago. What a series that was. And we still have one more to go today.
Oh, and one of the best series of the tournament.